Tonight, a transgender musician talks about her biggest life transition. Hi everyone, welcome to Gay Talk tonight. I'm Andrew Whiteside. My guest tonight is a rock and roll chick who's also transgender. Simone Whitlow is part of a Kiwi rock group called Ishtar. Currently the band is on a break and Simone is on a life-changing journey. 7 years ago she gave up her life as a man called Simon and began living what she says is her authentic life as Simone. Simone, lovely to have you on the program.
Lovely to be here.
Now, I'm really interested in the musical journey you've been on. So just tell me a little bit about Ishtar, the band, and the type of music and what it was you really loved about it.
For a long time, it was my baby. It was a band that ran from 2000 all the way to '08. And I mean, we really were like a mad scientist sort of a band. We were a hard rock group with elements of the whole heavy rock thing from the 70s, the stadium rock. There was a bit of a heavy metal thing in there, a lot of weird things that we could get away with. Female vocalist with just, this classic rock sort of backing band that was sort of behind it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, we went for a long time and got known on the scene as one of the better live bands to see out there. We released a couple of EPs. One that was an official EP, another one was just a giveaway to bribe people to like us on MySpace. Yeah, and then one day it all just fell apart, I suppose.
Where are you at now personally with the music? Because you're a singer-songwriter, so where are you at with that now?
Basically, band's on sabbatical. I'm saving up money to get myself an operation over in Thailand. So really, it's a bit of a back burner thing. It's a hobby at the moment. When and where I can, I'm getting out there my 12-string and just singing a bunch of Ishtar songs, singing a bunch of old rock and roll songs.
Now, the trip to Thailand you mentioned is because you're going to have surgery, and that's part of you transitioning because you are transgender.
Yep.
So when did that begin? When did you really feel that you wanted to change your life?
The band had reached a point where our drummer had gone off and gotten himself married and was planning to go off to London, and he had a life. And our singer had met this guy that she loved and she had a life, and our bass player basically run off to Canada, and well, we had a new bass player, but he had a life. And I just kind of felt like a non-person, I guess, at that point in my life. I felt like I was living a lie, and it was such a superficial lie. It was a lie I didn't even want to buy into. This big, heavy rock guy, and I mean, I was 120 kilos of just one massive, great big hairball, really, in those days. Looked like Cousin Ed. And at a point sitting there while we're filming a video, which was, for us, it was a big thing. It was a pinnacle of we'd released the EP and we'd sold, a couple of hundred copies of that. I'm sitting there thinking, God, I'm miserable. I'm in the wrong body here. I don't have a life as such. Things need to change. And yeah, I mean, it was at that point onwards that I decided, this is it, enough's enough.
I've interviewed and talked to transgender people in the past. The first time you actually are dressed as a woman and either go to work or meet friends or family is the hardest moment of your life usually. What was that moment for you and what was it like?
It was December the 8th, 2007. I moved from my life in West Auckland across the bridge to the North Shore. And I was living in a flat in Glenfield and around a group of people I felt safe around. And it was actually not just a sudden, it wasn't suddenly like, right, I'm wearing a dress out everywhere. It was slow. It was pants, and then it was tops, and then it was a bit of makeup. And all the while I'm getting laser treatment on my face. And honestly, it was hundreds of little terrifying moments along the way. going out and feeling like you stick out like a sore thumb and people are looking and, oh, you name it. It was loads of little uncomfortable moments you overcome.
How's the band reacted to it?
The band were great. I mean, the band didn't fall apart because of my transition. The band, basically, I had a singer that was overcommitted and a drummer that was headed off to London, and everything just slowly fell off the tracks. I regularly keep in contact with the old singer. I mean, we catch up for coffee every now and then, we talk, we message all the time back and forth on Facebook. Drummer we don't hear much of, but every time we catch up, it's, you know, it's like catching up with family. You know, they were cool. And to be perfectly honest, I think maybe 99% of people in the rock and metal scene were supportive, were very cool. And I mean, even when you consider some of the people out there, that, to be honest, oh boy, there's certain people on my Facebook page that say this is so gay or that's so gay, and you want to slap them. But you know, they're the ones that give you a big hug when you see them in public. So, you know, a lot of that's bravado, truthfully.
And family?
Oh, family have been great. I mean, you know, it's been a hell of a journey for them. It's been a journey for me. But, you know, for them, you know, you do kind of accept the fact that they realise that for me, they're not going to have grandkids, most likely. I don't know, might still go and, you know, adopt me one or two, I don't know, but, you know, the chances are probably not going to happen. And they know that if I ever get married, it's not going to be the marriage that they may have been thinking of and dreaming of and whatever else for however long. And it throws everything up into the air, and they deal with it, and it's taken them a while, but they've come round. They're very, very supportive. Parents particularly have been great. You know, even my grandparents have been fantastic. It's been positive. It's been really positive family. But then again, it's also been a long journey for them.
I can imagine, because, you know, you've grown up with them,
yeah,
being a certain type of person. Essentially, inside you are still the same person,
yeah.
but it is a major transition. Yeah. So I can understand on one level it is quite confronting for people, but you're the same person internally.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I think that was probably the big barrier, actually. I'd be showing up at the folks' place in these big baggy clothes that were pretty androgynous for about 6 months thereafter they knew. The first time I actually showed up with full makeup and in a dress and everything, there was... didn't really know how it was going to be taken. I mean, it was something that was negotiated and talked about and then cried about and all kinds of things. But yeah, I think once I got over that was cool. But yeah, no two ways about it. Hard work for family.
What do you say to people who are starting on that journey of transitioning, either from female to male or male to female? What do you say?
First and foremost, you have to be true to your own self. You cannot live a lie. I would say to anyone that, you know, get yourself sorted and grounded before you do that. If you're transitioning at the age that I did, you know, make sure that you're settled and got a job and got everything together. Be prepared for the fact that if it's M to F, boy, you're going to find that your life becomes a lot more expensive and high maintenance. Nothing prepared me for that, silly as it sounds. You know, eyebrows, hair, clothes, God, everything's more expensive. And if you got big size 12 feet like me, well, God, you're going to be spending a couple of $100 a pair of shoes. And know that there are others that have been through it. Lean on them when needed. I mean, end of the day, I've done a lot of it myself, but I've been quite thankful for the low times that there have been people there to say, hey, you know, been through it myself, understand, and, you know, and give you a big hug for it, because, you know, sometimes you do need that. Yeah, and I mean, support groups, online, whatever, absolutely essential. Yeah, I guess that's what I'd say to anybody that was me 4 years ago.
Now, why do you have to go to Thailand for this surgery?
Oh boy, they do it in New Zealand. They do. There is a surgeon in Christchurch who does do a fantastic job, but if you were to pay for him, it's about 45 grand, I believe. And the government does fund 3 operations every 2 years. Now, I'm on the waiting list for that, but I'm told by people in the ministry that the waiting list 53 names long. I'm told I'm 40th on the list. I don't know if that's true or not. And God, I'll be so old when I get to the end of that list that I don't know. You know, it's the final thing that completes you. You just want to get it out the way and on with your life. And yeah, somehow Thailand looks a lot better than a 20-something year wait.
What do you think it takes to have a happy, successful, fulfilled kind of life?
For me, I mean, a big part of happiness in life was getting rid of Simon, to be honest, and getting fit and healthy again and appearing on the outside like I felt on the inside. But to me, oftentimes it's singing old rock and roll songs. It's murdering the Ronettes, you know. It's times when, to me, a lot of the times I think happiness is the times when the brain just switches off and you just take in what's around you, whether that's the beach or time with a significant other, or just sitting there, as I often do on a Saturday afternoon, painting my nails, watching trashy television. Yeah, balance between, I guess, getting those things in life that are worthwhile, having those things that you strive for, and also counterbalancing that, I guess, with being happy with what you got. Yeah, to me, that's happiness.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. It's lovely having you here.
Thanks for having us.